I'm from Jerusalem, back east, south side, where the bruise and the Jews is from. 12 tribes till I die, I'ma ride for my Akia. Four corners of the earth, from the east to the west we roam. Now it's time for us to go back home.
Shalom everyone, this is Julian back with another episode of On Or Off Podast. Today's episode is going over the reintroduction of On Or Off Podast and also the reintroduction to myself. I know it's been a while since I've dropped the last video, and that is one of the reasons why I thought it was necessary to give you all this intro here to the newfound Julian, the newfound On Or Off Podast, because it is necessary to grow. It's very necessary to grow. And we see that in damn near every living organism. It can start off as a seed, start off as a plant, and then blossom into something that is beautiful. But when conditions get rough and the seasons start to change, either that plant dies or it adapts to whatever circumstances going on, and it continues to thrive, continues to procreate, and live on. And that is, Lord willing, something that I am climbing to, something that I'm going to accomplish, because I've missed this. I miss podcasting. It's been way too long, and a lot has happened, so bear with me as I try to remember some certain things. I try to get everything in as much as possible without boring you all, but I do have some topics here that I've written down. That is one thing that's going to be new to the channel. The structure that's going to be had. More of a fluid podcast instead of all over the place. There's still going to be some improvs here and there, but I would like to stick to topic, stick to certain things that me or the guests are talking about, and Lord willing, bring more edification to you all and then to the channel, period. So the first thing is what's been going on. What's been going on has been challenging, rewarding, scary, confusing, damn near every emotion under the sun. The last you guys heard from me was probably about 5-6 months ago, I believe. And around that time, and a little bit even before, I have been struggling when it came to money and then this different financial things. I was working at Planet Fitness as a personal trainer, and that was going well. I built up my clientele fairly easily, and the relationship that I had with them, with my clients, were phenomenal. But I did leave, and the reason that I left, it wasn't paying as well as I needed it to stay afloat. But also, I had this drive in me to now build my own company and to build my own legacy with my personal training. And once I left, I started to DoorDash, trying to at least get everything in order, give myself time to be available to whomever, and it seemed like a good plan at first. It really did. And with betting on yourself, I think it's necessary to understand that there's going to be losses. There's going to be times in your story where you look like the fool. But isn't that what betting on yourself is? Isn't that what building a legacy is? Looking like a fool 1 minute and then coming out a king in the next. Having no plan to having the world mapped out. You can't have one without the other. And that's something that I lost in the process. Because around that time, I got consumed with a darkness that was familiar but also unfamiliar. It started to creep back in when I got complacent with just looking at old videos of myself or looking at the before and after of my weight loss and just my journey to where I was at. But with months going by and time being lost, I started to realize that I haven't had any other achievements that I was able to be proud of. And with looking back, I saw the mess that I left in my home. Was it embarrassing? A little bit. It was a little bit embarrassing. Because again, when you become someone that people look up to, it's hard to take losses the way it was before you had all the eyeballs. Taking a loss back when I was 400 pounds, it was easy. Nobody could really see it. Or they had a, what is the word I'm looking for? Explanation on why they lost, or they have an excuse for you. Oh man, your body's still getting used to it, or don't push yourself too much. There was always an excuse. But now there was no excuse. There was zero. I lost the weight. I had the women. I had everything that I sought after. And then when it was all gone, again, because of my personality or just my ignorance to what that other level of life consisted of, it was hard for me to be okay with that type of loss. Like I said, it was embarrassing, but not to the point where I gave up on myself. Not to a point where it shut me down, where I gained weight again or was unmotivated. No, everything really stayed the same. That's why I said it was familiar, but unfamiliar. Also, what has been going on in that time, I have been trying to build myself up in wisdom. I've been going over the book of Proverbs, and if you all don't know, the book of Proverbs was written by Solomon. Solomon was one of the wisest men, or the wisest men outside of Christ that ever lived. And with reading his letters, I tried to apply different verses that stood out to me. I would highlight, write down my interpretation of what that verse was going into, and then just try to meditate on it as much as possible to now start adding bricks to the foundation that may have been cracked, may have been broken off, whatever the case may have been. And I've been really enjoying it. It allowed me to now think more clear. I feel it's important as a man to control your members, meaning if my hands cause me to sin, cast those into the fire instead of my whole body. If my eyes cause me to sin, the same ordeal. And with reading these wise words, it now reminded me that if a man is able to control his members, he is able to accomplish everything that he set himself out to obtain. Because not only are we able to resist temptation, we are able to identify it a lot sooner than we would have if we stayed the same. So those are the two big things that has been going on. Of course, Elijah's getting bigger. He just started school yesterday, so today is day 2. And just trying to be a better father for him, be a better man, example, etc. He is getting bigger where he is able to think on his own. He's able to interpret things all on his own and have an opinion that matters to me. And one of the big things that I've learned in doing so is that when all eyeballs are on you, there's little room for error. And even if you slip up, it's important to identify, explain what happened, and then get the ball rolling again. So most of you probably don't know, but I quit smoking about 15 days ago. I was going to say 15 months, Lord willing. But 15 days ago. And the reason I did that was not only to get closer to the Most High, but also allow myself to prove to not only myself, not only to God, but to people that cutting something off that made you comfortable, cutting something off that brought you security, peace, joy, happiness, cutting that off in order to fill into the man that you're destined to be is worth it. It is necessary. Not saying, I mean, of course, I don't know the future, but not saying that weed or smoking would have kept me from being that man. But like I was saying, to handicap yourself in order to get stronger is second to none. That's like jumping into the deep end with a floaty and saying, either I'm going to sink, not slink. Golly. Another thing, once I quit smoking, it's hard for me to, I'm not going to say communicate, because I feel like my words come out more fluently. There we go. More fluently. But in the sense of slowing my brain down to think about what I'm going to say, that's been difficult. But bear with me. That is something that a leader needs to understand that's going to happen. There's going to be times where your kingdom sees you at your vulnerability, but show them that vulnerability is only there because we are allowing it to mold us, and we are allowing it to strengthen us or to build us up. I could run from it. Every time I mess up, I could edit the video. But that's not necessary, because as you guys know, that this podcast is strictly for individuals who feel like they're alone. Strictly for people who feel like they are under a microscope when it comes to being perfect. And that's something I'm not. But I'm striving towards being perfect. A lot of people think with being perfect, you don't mess up, you don't fall down, you don't fuck up on your words. That is not the reality of being perfect. Being perfect is having morals, having commandments, having statutes that you live by, and doing those to the best of your ability to where people look at you and don't see a flaw in you. And that's one aspect in my life that, with reading Proverbs or with being around my friends, taught me. You got to show yourself to be a man. So when people look at me, they can see me fuck up. But when they see me that next day or the day after that, they're like, damn, I just saw him fuck up. How is he able to get himself up and still follow the path that he is walking down? How is he able to be embarrassed and not compromise to anger or sadness or insecurities and still push through like nothing happened? The Bible says there is a shame that brings forth sin, but there's also a shame that brings forth the glory. Ladies and gentlemen, we have to choose glory. Because if that sin brings shame, you're now going to live your life in a reclusive aspect, and you're not going to chase anything. Your fire will be extinguished, and it's like pouring water on wood. Messing up and getting back on the right track is like your fire going out with dry wood. I'm still able to rekindle that fire. But with wet wood, it's a lot harder. You have to wait for that water to evaporate and then kindle that fire. But after so long, why are we even motivated to kindle it again? The thought process of this firewood is going to be drenched in water again, I'm not going to do it. 5, 10, 20 years go by, and we're still afraid of just trying. And then we go to our graves with so many regret. We tell our kids, don't make the same mistakes as we did. Well, how can you give instruction if you don't have a blueprint on how to succeed in that instruction? We have to leave our children with something more than just a wise word. We have to leave them with examples. We have to leave them with something tangible that they can actually hold on to and be like, oh man, this is the way. In 1 Kings chapter 2, I believe, David was on his deathbed and he called for Solomon. And one thing he told Solomon to do was to show yourself to be a man. And how he told Solomon to be a man is to keep God's laws, statutes, and commandments. And with doing that, he said that, roughly paraphrasing, it will prosper him in every single thing that he does. When you walk, it will clear your path. When you're around people, it will protect you from people. So how much more do we have to show ourselves to be men, show ourselves to be women, and to actually follow something that's going to better ourselves? Again, this podcast is for everybody, so I don't feel like, this podcast is for everyone, so don't feel like you need to read the Bible or read the Quran or do anything extra in your life. But what I would recommend is having morals, having something to stand on, having something that's so unshakable that you can go through anything and you are still having that same answer or same disagreement that you had prior. Not saying you can't grow, not saying you can't think differently about certain things, but when it comes to your actual morals on the person that you're trying to be, it's necessary, very, very necessary to have those building blocks in your life so people can look at you and be like, oh, that person is not double-minded. I may not agree with them, but I respect the position that they take because it's not a fairy tale to them. It's not something phony. It's something that they really believe. It's something that they will die believing. And that's one thing that I've grown to love, is having morals, showing myself to be a man, keeping God's laws, keeping his statutes, because prior I wasn't doing that. I wasn't doing that at all. I believe we talked about it on the podcast a couple months ago or years ago. Who's counting? But once I started losing weight, I was having sex with a lot of women. I started smoking like super, super heavy, more than I was. And I saw my life going down the drain. Everything that I've built up was slowly leaking down the drain. And when it got to a point where I could see the bottom, it terrified me. Because I didn't want to go back to the same Julian that I grew to hate. Nor did I want to let people down that grew to love me. All the smiling faces that I looked at, all the people who DM'd me telling me that I'm an inspiration, or people started working out because of me, I did not want to lose that. Because I was afraid if I lost that, then they would lose the will to be better as well. Not saying I'm people's lifeline or I'm anything greater than what I am, but it's hard to see somebody that you looked up to go down the wrong path that they started on. Man, yeah, that's pretty damn deep, because looking back at my life, I know a lot of people I looked up to, and when I saw the individual that they became, or the person that they truly were, it made me question everything that I believed in. That's why when I got back into the Bible heavy, I knew that would never change. And if I'm able to indulge myself into this word or into this lifestyle, I knew that I would be unshakable as well. So the next topic we'll be talking about is, I talked about this a little bit, but how I changed as a person. How I changed as a person, more so of being okay with the process. I feel like that, saying that out loud kind of sounds silly, because you hear a lot of people say, oh, trust the process, trust the process. But what does that actually mean? Trusting that everything will be okay, even when it's not. Trusting that the sun will shine when it's been raining for days. Trusting that you'll still be loved when all you feel is hate. I think that really builds character. It builds something in you that is now more solid than anything that I could have gained with muscle, gained with confidence, gained with money, gained with fame. Knowing that the Lord guides my steps and that He is in charge of my past, present, and future actually took a weight off of my shoulders. Knowing that I didn't have to worry about what tomorrow brought because He is taking care of me. Roughly paraphrasing, the Bible says, don't worry about tomorrow because tomorrow has enough challenges for itself. Excuse me. Don't worry about tomorrow because today has enough worries of its own. Little sidebar. Once I stopped smoking, I feel like my words come out smoother, but my brain is moving faster than it normally would when I would smoke. So if you hear me take a little bit of time to pause, please bear with me. This is 15 days of sobriety, so all praise to the Most High for that. But also just trying to find out who I am again. What man am I now going to be? Because I feel like the Lord put belt to ass this last year, and it was necessary. The Bible says the Most High punishes those He loves and severely chastises those He calls sons. So if I feel like the Lord was putting belt to ass, that means He loves me. That means He's not done with me yet. And now being involved with my church of friends, with the Word of God, I see how at any moment He could have cut me off. At any moment He could have said, I'm no longer dealing with you, Julian, because I reached out my hand and you disregarded my calling. In Proverbs, I believe it is. Don't quote me on that. But in Proverbs, it says, since you did not listen to my reproof, though I stretched out my hand and you disregarded it, I will laugh at your calamity. I will mock you when your fear cometh. How terrifying is that when you feel like all you have is the Most High and He's no longer there? If we can do all things through Christ who strengthens us, then what the fuck can we do when the Most High abandons us? So that's why I'm so grateful for the 15 days of sobriety. I'm grateful for the chastisement. I'm grateful for the rebuke that I've gotten from different individuals that wanted to see me succeed. Of course, family is always going to be family. Of course, friends are always going to be friends. But there's a level of relationship with people that is unlocked when you put yourself on the path to success. I'm fully not indulged in this success making, but I'm starting to see what this life is about. I'm now around people, like I said, who love me. I'm around people who will tell me when I'm fucking up, around people who will motivate me to be even better than the man that's going to be great. Because there's always room for improvement. Let me repeat that. There's always room for improvement. When you think you are done, start back over at one. Whatever that song is, start back at one. It's an R&B song. Look it up on your own time. But really starting back at one, not saying that whatever you did was the wrong way or what you did was the right way, but it allows you now to see if you missed anything. It now allows to see if there's any cracks in this foundation to where if you were to ignore it, it would become a bigger problem. So ladies and gentlemen, give yourself that time to reevaluate who you are. Because like I've said before, if you go out into this world and you want to be any person that you want to be, as long as the next day you're still that person, and the next day, who can tell you you can't change? After quitting smoking, I feel like that now gave me a leg up when it comes to relatability with people. No one can look at me and be like, hey, Julian, how can you tell me to stop smoking and you're smoking? Or how can you tell me to quit this addiction where this addiction is causing you to not even podcast something that you love to do? Okay, cool, bet. So now I took that out of my life. I'm now podcasting. I'm now happier. I'm now better. Does my body feel different? Yes. Did I crave it a lot? 100%. Do I still wish I could smoke? Most days. But what I saw that came from removing this small factor out of my... A lot of people will say it's a big factor, but to me it's a small factor. It's nothing crazy. It's not like I did another 13 miles or anything. It's just quit smoking. And I don't know if I can really identify what those changes are in a sense. Because, I mean, I can still run a mile. I can still go to boxing like nothing has changed. Maybe my endurance has gotten better. Maybe my mind is more clear to where my body doesn't feel heavy or tired that it would have felt if I would have smoked. But as of right now, I really can't pinpoint what has been different. What I've been enjoying is the battle itself. Because even though that craving is still there, knowing that I'm not going to smoke actually makes me happy. Lord willing, I'm able to push that over into other addictions that I still have. Nothing crazy. I'm not on no type of drugs or anything. But as a man, you know what type of addiction that is. And one day at a time, right? One day at a time. It would be unfair to me to say, well, because I quit smoking and the process of beating that battle each day of not smoking, I can just go ahead and transfer over into my lust or transfer it over into my rage. Well, if I'm not fully complete in this area, how can I then split that in half and put it to something else? It's impossible. It's harder to grow in two different areas at the same time. Is it possible? 100%. You know, with my weight loss, I did arms, legs, back each different day. But with something that has become an addiction, that has become a part of your identity, that is where we need to give ourselves grace. Grace is such a big thing to have, because not only are you able to take away, what is the word I'm looking for? Like getting on to somebody. Like, goodness gracious. Let's just start over in this way. Having grace now allows you to be kinder, allows you to see perspective, allow you to look at somebody and say, hey, I'm still going to be here for you, even though you may have messed up, even though you had a week of going back to that sin, back to that mess that we're trying to get away from. I understand. Having grace, having mercy is something I feel like as men we need to start giving to each other. A lot of men say, no, man, you're a man. Get over that shit. How can a man be a man if he's still dealing with boy traumas? Dealing with boy traumas as a man is a scary combination. Because when we were boys, we couldn't really do anything about it. But now that we're men, we're able to do something. Either if it's going to the strip club, or either fighting a bully, or when it's drinking your whatever we go to mask the pain that we've been through can lead you to a path of destruction. And it's necessary to identify it. It's necessary to be around men who say, brother, lean on me for a little bit. Let's walk together down this path of recovery. And when you're able to walk on your 2 feet, you're going to look to your left and look to your right, and I'm still going to be there. So let's just say you do roll your ankle again. You're not sitting around looking for somebody to help you. I'm always going to be there. And that's why I thank the brothers that I've been around for these last couple of months, because these men, they pray for me. They love me. They check on me. They've taught me scripture. They've given me wise counsel, wise wisdom. And that's something that I would never, ever take for granted. And that's why I thought it was important to have this reintroduction to Socks On or Off Podcast, because I want to use this platform to show people that regardless of your background, race, creed, y'all know I believe we're Israelites. Y'all know that. But my love and my attitude towards other people always will stay the same. And it's important to understand that these disagreements should not, or these differences in ideas or religion or whatever the case, should not hinder two people that are calling each other friend, that's calling each other acquaintances or partners or whatever the case may be, to cause that rip in a life worth going through with people that are in the same direction as you. It's funny that I'm going to say this because I just watched this movie not too long ago. It's called The Longest Walk. My sister, when she sees this, she's going to be like, oh, that's my movie. I watched it 6 times. Calm down, Myra. It's all right. But if you all don't know, this movie, The Long Walk, in a nutshell, the country goes back into like a Great Depression. And they get one man from each state and they have them walk to wherever. And the whole goal is to be the last man walking. Of course, there's different stipulations and things like that. But over time, one man will drop out and he will get eliminated. Another man will drop out and he'll get eliminated. And eventually, it just became 2 people. And of course, the movie ends with one standing. That's how the movie is supposed to go. But if we have that type of mindset of finding brothers, finding sisters, or finding people that are walking that same path as us, it's such a beautiful camaraderie. Because when you ask them, hey, where are you going? I'm going to so-and-so. Oh shit, me too. Or you look at another person, hey, what are you trying to gain out of this journey? Damn, so am I. And yeah, there's going to be people that drop out of the race. But there's also going to be people that after mile 100, a mile 150, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, they're still going to be walking that same journey as you. How beautiful is that? How beautiful is looking to the future and seeing your own legacy, seeing your own kingdom, and then your brother's kingdom is right next door. Or your sister's kingdom is right behind yours, because we all built this shit together. Yeah, we have individual goals on a small level. Yeah, we have different ideas on how we're going to accomplish something once we get to the end goal. But if everything is damn near similar, that's a beautiful thing. It's such a beautiful thing. There's people I don't talk to anymore, and then there's people I've known for years. There's also people who came into my life at early stages of my adult life, and all of them have a special place in my heart, but there's going to be some that will stay there for a lifetime. So ladies and gentlemen, that is one big thing that we, all of us can do together moving forward, is starting to find those people who will take that long walk with us. It's a great fucking title for something. Like The Longest Walk, yeah, it's already a title for a movie, but I'll come up with something that's actually a great fucking title. All right. Damn, I feel like I answered most of these, but just for my sanity, I'm going to go over them just a little bit more. So what has been hard? One thing that's been hard is I've been lonely. As you guys know, I have messed around with a lot of women. I have not seen any of them since. But in doing so, it's not, and I don't want people to hear this and be like, damn, he was just dogging women out, or he was just being a hoe. The second part, maybe. But really looking back at these women and what I was wanting from them is not what I've gotten from them. I got their body, but what I wanted was their love, their attention, their femininity, their time, their dreams, their aspirations. I wanted that partner in crime. I wanted somebody to come home to who would look me in the eyes and say, baby, I missed you. I wanted someone who would cook me dinner, who would fold my clothes, who would buy me something when I'm not even realizing that I need it. And I don't have it. We all want to get into the realm of, no, women have a bigger title than that. They don't have to. Calm your horses. We need to stop fucking making things multi-dimensional. Everything don't have to be everything. She can be a housewife and still have her life outside of me. She can be a businesswoman and have a life outside of her business. Why is it unfair to say, I want a wife to cook me dinner? Why is it unfair to say, I want a wife that when my clothes are dirty, to clean them? Because what I'm going to do is the same shit. I'm going to wash her clothes. I'm going to cook her dinner. I'm going to buy her something. That's why the Bible says, I now see, roughly paraphrasing, Adam said this, actually, the first man chosen by God. I now see that a man should leave his mother and father and be joined with his wife. One flesh. As a single man, if I come home and clean my house and get everything in order so I don't have to worry, why would my other half not want the same? If I can buy myself gifts or take myself to the movies, why can I not do it for her? And vice versa. That is what love is. And when I was having sex with these women, excuse me, having sex with these women, I'm not going to say it was great. I mean, it was great. I'm not going to say it was bad. I'm not going to say I didn't crave it at that time. But now what? If all I had was memories of having sex with these women, what memories are worth keeping? I'm not going to say I had sex with a lot of women, but I can't even tell you how many. I just forgot. I just know I did. Some men would be like, damn, nigga, that's cool, bro. Fuck these women. What the fuck you need to remember their name for? Because I'm pretty sure they remember me. I'm pretty sure they remember how I made them feel. All the lies, all the promises. I had this girl even tell me, Julian, you're confusing me. Because she didn't know if I wanted her. She didn't know if I didn't want her. She didn't know if I was using her. I told her I was a man of God, and still. So, when you finally start to understand that you want your life to be a certain way, we have to make it our own. We can't go to social media and see what Meg is saying. We can't go to social media and see what Kendrick or Drake. They are not role models. They are not your parents. They are not your therapists. They are not your friends, family, cousins, uncles. Of course there's somebody's, but they're not yours. And even if you don't have those people in your life, like I said, find those people who will take that long walk with you. And then start to bounce ideas off of them. Hey man, I seen you been married for a couple years, man. You know what you been doing? How do you, the way your wife looks at you, man, I've never seen that before. Please put me on game. Or for a young man, hey, I didn't have a dad, but the way you talk to me or the way you make me feel, it really encourages me. Two of the captains in my church, they have shown me what it means to be a man of God. One of the captains lost his whole family because of the way he believed. And then the Most High blessed him with his family back and more people that came into his life that love him. Another captain in the camp used to be out in the streets heavy. And now tells us to love each other. That he loves us. That we can come to him with anything. And we'll back it up with scripture. I'm used to hypocrites. But I found men that truly live what they say. So even though it's going to be a long walk, I'm willing to walk through fire with these men. Because if something happens, I know that whatever I have or with Elijah, if anything happens to me, I know these men will step up and care. They won't just leave. They won't just be like, R.I.P. my nigga. They will mourn me. They will pick up wherever I left off and add to my legacy by making sure I'm not forgotten. So yeah, it's been lonely. It's been very lonely, but it was necessary for me to feel this emptiness. Because if I even now, I don't think I feel like I'm ready for a relationship, but I don't think I'm ready in the sense of the come over to my house or to like touching and kissing and all this shit, because I am so programmed in seduction. I'll repeat that. I am programmed in seduction. I know how to speak to women. I know how to woo with my words, in a sense. And I know I'm not strong enough to fight that temptation as of yet. Texting on the phone, FaceTiming, going out on a date to the river or something public, that is something I'm looking forward to for sure. You know, looking over and seeing her smile because of a corny joke I made. Or her say something to me that flatters me because I never heard something like that before. I had one woman that I thought I'd be with forever. And looking back, I did force a lot of things upon her that were not fair at that point in time. But again, I thought I was doing the right thing. And sidebar, if you ever feel like you have everything figured out, go find men that have their shit figured out and see if you really know what you're talking about. Because when I lost her and went to go tell my friends about it, they're like, hey man, maybe you didn't handle it the best that you could have. Maybe you pushed her into a position where it was like a fight or flight type of deal. And she chose to leave. And I have been thinking about her a lot. And there's two ways of thinking about it. There's one there's one of, damn, I lost it, that one who got away. You feel me? There's that train of thought, but there's also the thought of, damn, if I was blessed enough to have somebody like her, who's to say I can't find that in somebody else and something better? Do I wish she would have came back? Yeah. Yeah, I do. I don't know. But having her in my life, that was a really, really good part of my experience with her. And yeah, the sex was great. Golly. Jokes. But the other things that she did, she took care of me. That's something that has never happened to me. Is somebody taking care of me. Like, of course, with Elijah's mother, I was with her. That was like my longest relationship. But we maintained to be together. She really didn't take care of me. I didn't feel like I could let down my guard in certain areas or not do something and she'll pick up the slack. Now, this woman, she held me, she rubbed me, she spoke life in me. She complimented me. She fucking bought me things. She had interest in certain things that I was interested about. And that could be one of the reasons why I wanted to push, I'm going to call it a religion, but push my religion upon her, because that was the only thing I felt like was missing in our relationship. Like, damn, if she was able to believe in the Bible, oh, this girl is everything that I've wanted. But again, I could not show myself to be a man in that time period. I wasn't following the commandments. I wasn't putting God first. I would still show up to church and different things like that and just be there. My time wasn't invested. I wasn't chewing the cud, so to say. Meaning, I wasn't ingesting the information of the Bible and then bringing it back up and meditating on it as much as I should have. And in doing so, I feel like the Lord said, hey, I have something greater for you, and whatever this is that you think you have is not going to put you in a position to start being the man that I called you to be. Certain shit happened, and I lost her. But in that time of losing her, there were some setbacks for sure. There were some setbacks, but damn it, have I grown? Have I grown? Do I wish to grow some more? Yeah, that's important. But is there still that lingering effect of what I've lost? Yes. So am I a better man? 100%. But do I still have the scar that she left upon my body? Yeah. But men, that is something that you either take joy in, or you let it fuck you up. I think I've said it on this podcast, or like in this video. I've had to keep restarting because my words weren't coming out as well as I wanted them to. But if I said it, please bear with me. Again, 15 days sober, my mind is still trying to get back on track. But if I didn't, Lord willing, this is edifying to you. But yeah, I think I did actually. But 1 Kings chapter 2, 3 and 4, verse 3 and 4, I believe. Let's do a little this. Do a little this. Bear with me here. But yeah, so no, that's Ecclesiastes, Sirach. But as I am finding, all praise to the Most High, I found it. So this is Sirach 4 and verse 21. For there is a shame that bringeth sin, and there is a shame which is glory and grace. So men, even though that scar is going to be left on your body, even though those memories are going to fucking suck, you either have to let that sin not let it consume you, but either it's going to consume you, or you're going to let it build you up in a way. Damn, I did say 1 Kings. My bad. Sirach. But you're going to let it consume you or build you into a man to, Lord willing, you can see that woman again and she'd be like, damn, look how much you've grown. If she comes back into my life, I'd be happy. If she can see the man that I've became, I'd love that. But if not, hopefully she knew that I loved her. Hopefully she understood that I did the best that I could. And Lord willing, if I find another woman like her, then I'm able to keep her, that I'm able to protect her, show her that she is loved, and give her time to find out what we are going to be together. And that's really it, gentlemen. I mean, there's really nothing else that we can say or do. You're going to let it fuck you up? Or you're going to let it turn you into a king? You know, we want to call ourselves kings or royalty, but what does that look like? Not everybody can be a king. But shit, not everybody's going to be a peasant as well. Not everybody is going to be a worker. Not everybody is going to be a soldier. So when you set out to be what you're calling yourself, you got to fucking make sure that you're living up to those expectations. Because if not, people are going to see right through you. And that sin is going to bring forth shame. If all the women that I had sex with and I didn't do anything else with them, if all of them got together, I wonder if they have more good to say about me than bad. And if it is bad, then that goes to show that the arrogance and the ignorance that I thought of myself was all a fantasy. I thought I was that nigga. I thought I had everything planned out. I thought because I lost weight that I'm now able to fucking live a life without any stumbling blocks. Shit, I'm still wearing clothes that I've had for years. You know what I mean? There's still so much for me to do. So like I was saying, Lord willing, these women, can see me. I did have an opportunity to talk to this one girlfriend that I had, and we didn't get back together or go on any dates, but I was like, hey, I'm sorry for the man that I was. I still was battling demons I didn't even know I had. I still allowed my feelings, I wouldn't even say feelings, because I don't think I had feelings for Elijah's mother, but I still allow her opinion or her potential actions to detour me from giving you my all. And that was like a big thing off my shoulders that I wish I can do with the other women. But again, they probably were using me the same way I was using them. So if you're not able to apologize, keep it gangster, keep it pushing, and introduce yourself to other women as the man that you should have been in the past. Okay, so moving on. What's been easy? Absolutely fucking nothing. Nothing has been easy. And that's okay. I don't want it fucking easy. Because if it was easy, it would trick myself into saying I can be complacent again and get this shit back with no problem. There's certain things that has stayed the same. I'm going to say easy, but more so when it comes to like working out. Excuse me. I went back to the boxing gym. Was able to do my 12 rounds like nothing happened. I was able to run a mile in about 12 minutes, 30 seconds, like nothing happened. I was able to do these things. I was still okay. But when it came to building myself back up or realizing that I fucked up somewhere or I took a detour, nigga, and got lost, that was not easy. Quitting smoking was not easy. Seeing that I lost my focus was not easy. So, in a nutshell, nothing was fucking easy. None of it was easy. How did you maintain? Oh, that's a great question. It's a really good question. How did I maintain? I think lying to myself really helped. Lying to myself, especially in the time of me being unemployed. I'm like, no, I'm going to be a personal trainer. I am going to get clients. I'm going to, nigga, no, you're not. No, you're not. And even though it was something I could have done, but after a certain while, wisdom should have told me, hey, you are drowning. Go find a job until you can get back afloat. Go do something else that is going to just allow you to be happy with paying a bill on time. I got a job at Amazon that's my lisp. I got a job at Amazon as a delivery driver. And for the people who work for Amazon delivery, that shit is tough. Golly. But I'm tougher. And I feel like the Lord gave me this job to humble the fuck out of me. Okay, you want to be a personal trainer? Now use what you've gained. Not every day, 4 days out of the week. I clock 7 to 8 miles in that job. I now gotten comfortable with running back and forth from the truck to the house, from the truck to the house. And I finished 2 hours early. But God humbled me like, hey, bro, sit your ass down for a little bit. Sit down. I've already gave you an ass whooping. Now I'm putting you in timeout. But in this process of being in timeout, I'm now able to think about how I'm going to do it correctly. In this time of being in timeout, I'm now able to keep my body in shape instead of fucking door dashing every single day and not going to the gym. So all praise to the Most High for that. I've maintained when I was smoking. I maintained with smoking. Now that I'm not smoking, I've maintained with being in the Word, being around brothers who quit smoking themselves, and then just trying to live each day as day one. I'm pretty sure most of you have heard me say it before, but if you, especially if you're on your weight loss journey, if you look at every day as day one and you conquer that day, eventually it will turn into months, turn into years, and you'll be like, oh shit, 1 foot in front of the other. 1 foot in front of the other. And that is really something that will help people maintain, is looking at each day as a challenge just to get through. I'm pretty sure most of you have heard the quote from Rocky, there is no tomorrow. There is no tomorrow. I like that quote. But also I added, yesterday never happened. And there is no tomorrow. Outside of our memories, what really do we have to show for 5 years ago, 10 years ago, 2 months ago, even yesterday? I didn't buy shit yesterday that I can have today and be like, oh shit, look, this was from yesterday. Remember I did this? If somebody walked into my house and said, hey man, what'd you do yesterday? I have no proof of yesterday. So having that thought in your mind that yesterday never happened can now cut whatever poison or whatever parasite you had from your past that's lingering. You're able to cut that shit off and say, hey, that never happened. And if tomorrow never comes, then whatever you do that day either is going to make you the best man you can become or the worst man. The Bible says, I now set before you life and death. Choose therefore life and live. So if every day life sets before you life and death, you got to choose life. I had a lot of anxiety and depression back when I was a teenager. I used to be scared about dying young. Of course, I was a big kid, big young man, and a heart attack or stroke was something that I really feared in my life. And once I started to lose weight and tricked myself into being okay with dying, as long as I was in the gym while I died. I told myself I'd rather die in this gym than die on the couch. And after a while, I unlocked a new perspective or a new saying. And it goes like this. Don't be afraid of dying young, but be afraid of living a long life and accomplishing nothing. How much more of hell that is. Living until you're 80, 90, and got nothing to show for it. Zero to show for it. At least now, if I died young, people would be like, man, look at what he was on the path of doing. Damn, this is inspirational. This man lost 172 pounds. He became a great father. He's ran 13 plus miles. He's done this. He's done that. And he died doing what he loved. Instead of the opposite, in a nursing home somewhere and be like, damn, this man has no family to come see him. He has no inheritance. no accolades, no memorabilia, no anything. Fuck, I'd hate to be him. Which one would you rather choose? I know which one I'd choose. And shit, after this podcast, I'd be okay with dying knowing that I at least gave you this message. So, that is one way I maintained, and that's that's the way I'm going to continue to maintain. Being in the Bible, being around people who's going to take that long walk with me, reevaluating myself, understanding that losses are going to happen, but if we count every loss as a moral victory, then you still won. You still won. I'm not going to sit here and be like, the loss is not going to hurt. But even if the win was you tried, take that fucking win. Because if you took the chance and you won, you'd be excited. But because you took the chance and lost, you're discouraged? We can't be double-minded. You have to stay the same. A win is a win because you tried. A win is a win because you succeeded. A loss is only a loss when you accept it to be a loss. Did I lose out in relationships? Yes, I'm going to take that loss. Did I win with the women I was speaking of previously when it came to finding a woman like myself? Yeah. So I accepted losses when it came to the other women, but with her, even though I lost her, that was a win because I got to know her. India Ari said, even if, roughly paraphrasing, because I could only remember the verse if I sing it, and I'm not singing for y'all. Not yet. But, roughly paraphrasing, she said, even if we break up, I won't even be sad. Because there is a blessing in every lesson, and I'm glad that I knew him at all. So when it comes to that woman, girl, I'm blessed that I've known you. And if they're fly, then that means I'm fly because they chose me. So now pick your fucking self up off the ground, dust yourself off, tend to your wounds, and keep it fucking pushing. Keep it pushing. Because you never know what life is going to be. Let's just say in 2 years, somehow I run into her and then it's the perfect time. Or in 5 years, maybe I meet a woman that is at a level that I got to because I didn't choose to quit. Be happy for what's to come instead of being sad of what was. That will help you on that journey. That definitely will. Because feeling like you're doing this shit for nothing, Satan will be like, shit, nigga, you are doing it for nothing. Who's going to love you like that girl did? Who is going to like you now? Who's going to want to be your client? Because you've already failed with gaining some. Who's going to want to be your client? And then we start to compromise, and then we start to get complacent, and then we just stop giving a fuck. We go back to smoking. We go back to other addictions. We take jobs that are I'm not going to say beneath us, but that we're better than. Why would I want to go back to a job that's going to treat me like shit knowing I'm destined for greatness? But now I'm going to say, Julian, you're going to take what the Most High gave you. You're going to appreciate it. And bitch, you're going to shoot. Bitch, oh my God. I've been hanging out with my sisters too much. Boy, you are going to shoot for the moon again. Because if you miss that, I'm going to be corny. If you miss that, motherfucker, you're going to end up among the stars. But that's important. Give yourself a shot. You miss 100% of the shots you don't take. Even if you make 1 out of 100. If you didn't take that one shot, it would have been 0 out of 100. And if all you needed was 1, my good sir, you got it. All right. Next one is how to be a man. That I kind of went over that a little bit when I was talking about King David and his son Solomon and what he told him to be a man. And actually, I just flipped to this verse, and it's Proverbs 3, verse 1. My son, forget not my law, but let thine heart keep my commandments. For length of days and long life and peace shall they add unto thee. Let not mercy and truth forsake thee. Bind them about thy neck. Write them upon thy tables of thine heart. So, with these commandments, or with these, I'm going to call them laws to live by, that you get from the Bible, or you get from yourself, or whatever. When you live according to what you believe in, you're going to have length of days. You're going to have mercy. You're going to have truth. You're going to have guidance. You're going to have wisdom. Because these scriptures, these laws are living water. And, sorry, there's a gnat. These laws are living water. It quenches you when life dehydrates your soul. It cools you down when the fires of hell feel too hot to even bear. It waters your garden. It waters your life. It waters people around you. And showing yourself to be a man is staying firm in what you believe in and maintaining on the path that you set out to do or set out to be. Again, there's always, like with this podcast now, there's always a revamp to whatever you want to do. But as long as that end goal is the same, that to me is being a man. You know, that's very subjective to some people. You know, oh, I feel like, you know, you need to learn how to fight to be a man, or you need to get a good paying job to be a man. That's always sub attached to what a man is. You know, you have a tree, then you have the branches. That tree of being a man needs to have a law of life. So I'm not going to hate my brother in my heart. I'm not going to commit adultery. I'm not going to commit idolatry. I'm not going to murder. I'm not going to steal, rob, kill. I'm not going to eat any unclean food. I'm not going to bear false witness. I'm not going to hold grudges. I'm not going to sow discord between brethren. And if I'm able to maintain all of that, then no one can look at me and be like, damn, that's not manly. Even when somebody steals from him, I'm not going to steal from you. Even if a man sleeps with my woman, who am I to go sleep with another man's woman? What is payback when it means losing a brother? What is payback if it means losing a life? I think there's a... Bear with me. Forgot what verse this is. Okay. I can't find it right now, but in a nutshell, it basically is saying if a man commits adultery, then the revenge of whatever that man, that wife cheating on him, regardless of how much you make amends, how many gifts you're going to give him, how many times you say sorry, his vengeance for you will never pass away. He is going to hate you in his heart until he's able to do you wrong or to damn near take your life. Is that worth it? Is that fornication worth potentially 3 people losing their lives? It's not. I had sex with this man's wife years ago, and my excuse was, he treats her bad. He don't like her. And I thought I was justified because somebody slept with my girl. Shit, I had to see him call my girlfriend and his picture pop up on her phone like they were together. So I was like, if somebody can fuck my girl, why can't I do that? Because that's not manly, Julian. Like I was saying earlier, that is a little boy trauma being expressed by a grown man. I'm going to say little boy trauma because reacting in that way is childish. I'm going to go have sex with somebody else's girl. That's childish. Keep it gangster and keep it pushing. Nigga, go do a push-up or something. You know what I mean? Go find some brothers to go hang out with. Go cry to them. Because at least they're going to look at you and be like, brother, I'm here for you. Yeah, that's tough, man. That's tough. But let's get you back right. Vagina is not going to put you back on a good path. Getting a quickie is not going to set you up for success. Man, roughly paraphrasing, the Bible says a brother is built for hard times, and a friend, roughly paraphrasing, a brother is built for hard times, and a friend is built for adversity. Roughly paraphrasing. But having those people you can count on in time of need, that is going to last longer than that that orgasm. That's going to last longer. That's going to last longer than any type of satisfaction that you think you got as a man because you thought it was cool to go fuck somebody else. Even if she's single, you are putting yourself into a unknown woman. An unknown woman. And this is one thing, fellas, if you haven't read the book of Proverbs, I suggest that you do, because Solomon eventually sinned because of all the women that he got, but they led him astray. They forced him to worship other idols, build idols unto their gods. And one thing he wrote down was, here it is. Let's go with this one. This is Proverbs 6, verse 23. For the commandment is a lamp, and the law is light, and reproofs of instruction are the way of life, to keep thee from the evil woman, from the flattery of the tongue of a strange woman. Lust not after her beauty in thine heart, neither let her take thee with her eyelids. For by means of a whorish woman a man is brought to a piece of bread, and the adulteress will hunt for the precious life. So all these women that you think you can gain because you want to be a player or you want to be a man, she is breaking you down bit by bit until a piece of bread. And what is bread meant for? It's to be consumed. And once that woman consumes you, it's really hard to find yourself again. Shit, if you're lucky, a woman can get you killed. A woman can get you robbed. A woman can get you a bad name. A woman can put you in prison. Actually, a whorish woman. Because a righteous woman, that is something, fellas, that we need to look into getting. But Julian, what is a good woman, you may say? Oh man, that's a pretty fucking good question. And women, Lord willing, I get a woman on here as well to give y'all some game, because as a man, I can't relate in a personal aspect. I can only tell you what I like. And also, actually, I guess this can be for women and men. This is Proverbs 31 and let's do, I guess, verse 10. But for time's sake, I'm not going to read all of it because it goes to 10 all the way to 25. But I'll just read a couple verses just to show you what type of woman is necessary for a man to obtain. And women, this is what a woman should be to be a virtuous woman. So this is Proverbs 31 and verse 10. Who can find a virtuous woman? For her price is far above rubies. The heart of her husband does safely trust in her, so that he shall have no need of spoil. She will do him good and not evil all the days of her life. She seeketh wool and flax, and worketh willingly with her hands. She is like the merchant ships. She bring her food from afar. She rises also while it is yet night, and giveth meat to her household, and a portion to her maidens. She considers a field, and buyeth it. With the fruit of her hands she planted a vineyard. And then going down to verse 25, this is what she will be recognized as. Verse 25, strength and honor are her clothing, and she shall rejoice in time to come. She opens her mouth with wisdom, and her tongue is the law of kindness. She looketh well to the ways of her household, and eateth not the bread of idleness. Her children arise up, and call her blessed. Her husband also, and he praiseth her. That's tough. That's tough, because we now, like I was saying earlier, these celebrities, these idols, they're not your role model. But this woman right here, she is what these other women will call a pick-me. What do you mean you get up before everybody else and make food? What do you mean you go and buy a vineyard and tend to it? I ain't doing that. Even men can't even find that reasonable. Like, nah, I want you to go out here and shake your ass or get drunk or, babe, come fight this bitch. Or that's the last chapter of the Proverbs, ladies and gentlemen. And Solomon ended with a woman that we all should seek after. It says her children will call her blessed, and so does her husband, and he also praises her. Actually, I'll just finish it out. Verse 29. Many daughters have done virtuously, but thou exceedest them all. Favor is deceitful, and beauty is vain. But a woman that feareth the Lord, she shall be praised. Give her of the fruit of her hands, and let her own work praise her in the gates. I'm gonna let that sizzle in your spirit. I'm not even gonna speak anymore about that. Just let that sizzle. All right. Last little topic before I let y'all go. How to deal with adversity. First, seek wise counsel. I'm gonna go back to Proverbs. Oh, go back to Proverbs. This is Proverbs 1 and verse 5. A wise man will hear and will increase learning, and a man of understanding shall attain unto wise counsel. To understand a proverb and the interpretation, the words of the wise and their dark sayings. So when it comes to anything in life, when you get wise counsel, you're now able to dissect your problems, dissect the dilemma, and get through it either with your friends, with your brothers, or getting that counsel and doing it yourself. You're now able to see it from a bigger aspect of just linear. Once we're able to look, analogy, it's easier. Golly, sorry, I had lunch a little bit earlier and it's making me burp. But it's easier to see an ant farm in a box from above than cutting a little hole and trying to see everything that's going on. Same with our problems. If we're now able to look at it in totality, we're now able to get shit going properly. We're able to do it as a man instead of as a child. We're now able to do it as a team than do it alone. Another thing to deal with adversity is to let yourself fully accept whatever just happened. If that means crying, if that means running, if that means going to the gym, if that means boxing, if that means fucking writing a poem, let yourself feel it. It's easy to mourn appropriately than have spurts of outburst occasionally. The Bible says mourn, I believe, 5 or 7 days for a lost loved one. Roughly paraphrasing, and then get back to life because you're alive, you're living. Whatever happened is dead and gone. Can't change it. So, ladies and gentlemen, that's really all that I have for you. Thank you for being on this journey with me throughout the years of me being me. Thank you for loving me and accepting me through this weird and twisted life that I had you guys on. Thank you for continuing to support me. Lord willing, I'm able to edify you all in just different ways. Lord willing, I'm able to bring you comfort and peace when it comes to different situations that may arise in your life, and continue to come out a winner. Continue to come out a winner. Take those losses, like I said, dissect it and get wise counsel, and turn that loss into a win, man. Because the more we win, the closer we get to that destination of greatness. And let's just say greatness is really not something we can obtain, or excuse me, greatness is not something we'll fully be in, because again, there's always that progression. But chasing after greatness is better than sitting in failure. And with that, may your pain be champagne. Shalom.